Well, coming into last year, we really felt like we had the opportunity in the roster to have a really good year. And I mean, they really, what can you say about last year? I mean, we set records in a lot of different areas, won our conference championship outright for the first time in 8 years, went to nationals, had 2 big wins at nationals, and really had the number 1 team in the country down 3-1 in the 6th inning. I mean, so we were close to going to the World Series, which was really, to be honest with you, not even our goal. And, coming off that year, I mean, we're super proud of our kids. We've celebrated that year, and we're not going to forget about that year, but it's time to move on. And sometimes you got to reset. That's been our message to our team and our program, is sometimes you want to reset after you have a bad performance or bad year, but you also need to reset when you have an incredible year like we did, because none of those runs count, none of those wins count. The only thing that we can take with us is the experience from what we learned last year. And, obviously we're excited. We have a lot of our players back from last year's roster, so there's a lot of championship experience. So, we're super excited about kind of pursuing, loftier goals this year. Getting a national ranking is important, to be honest with you, as we try to look at different paths to go to nationals, to make our way to a World Series and compete for a national championship. Those have been our goals since I got here in the summer of 2019. So we're not going to shy away from that. We think our team should be nationally ranked. We're going to pursue the top 10. That's going to be one of our goals this year. I really believe that there's 3 ways to go to nationals, and getting an at-large bid is one of those ways. And so you really can't do that if you're not nationally ranked. It doesn't mean anything. It's basically based on what we did last year. So it's just another recognition of what the country and the coaches around the country think that we did and achieved last year. We're going to have to kind of prove them right or prove them wrong. So, I think we have the roster to prove them right. But the national ranking is super important. It also means that we get everybody's best shot. Last year, I really felt like we were able to sneak up on some programs. We very quietly started to get into the national conversation a little bit. We will not have that luxury this year, and that's okay. But it is going to be a different dynamic to where we are going to get everyone's best game, irregardless of their record, and so we just have to be prepared for that. Well, I mean, we do have a great team coming back, and we'll start right with the Player of the Year last year in our league, Cassie Valdez. She's an honorable mention All-American, and she led us in a lot of ways. She was the Pitcher of the Year. It's extremely rare to be the Pitcher of the Year and the Player of the Year in the conference. But, her skill set allows her to have confidence in any stage. And so we saw that. We've got to certainly give her some help. But, I mean, our team really starts with her. And we're excited to have her back and healthy and pursuing loftier goals. Just around the infield, we're bringing back a lot of really good players there. I think one of the best players in the country is our shortstop, Becca Duran. She is just very steady there. She's very good defensively, but she also swings a bat for us. In the outfield, we've got a few fifth-year kids who are returning and are exciting both offensively and defensively. Kayla Drees had one of the best seasons in the country last year. She was coming off a knee surgery the year before, and I mean, she had big hit after big hit after big hit for us last year. A couple walk-off home runs and big hits, and right next to her is Maddie Nunn. And Maddie Nunn, went back-to-back with Defensive Player of the Year as an outfielder. It's super rare that your Player of the Year is going to be an outfielder, but it gives you an idea of how she can change the game. But offensively, her game changed last year. Her power numbers were all-time highs, and of course she is the all-time base stealer in our program's history. So that's a weapon that's tough. Another couple fifth-year kids, Joanna Gonzalez is really our leader behind the dish. She's rock solid there. She's been all conference basically every year she's been here, and so she runs our defense and runs it well. Ariel Montgomery had arguably the best season of any player in the history of our program. She set a program best for home runs in a year and RBIs. And so she's also a very good defender. She's also going to get some time in the circle. So her role is super important, and she'll be back as well. Caitlin Terrasis was a new player for us last year, but her leadership is just unmeasurable for us. And so having her back again, she had probably one of the best falls offensively of any of our players. And so she's, in a lot of ways, she's a coach on the field, not just because she's a little older, but she's had a lot of years of experience. But she does a great job of motivating other athletes as well. And so, those are kind of the leaders that we're excited about coming back and kind of helping us pursue this thing again. Well, we've welcomed in 5 transfer players. I'll start with Allie Gonzalez. She was actually in our school last year academically. She was at Jarvis Christian as a freshman and garnered votes for Pitcher of the Year as a freshman at Jarvis. She impressed me. They came to our place as a freshman. She beat us twice. So, when you come in here and beat you, she gets my attention. So we're very happy to have her here. She made an academic choice really to come here. So she'll be someone that we're very anxious to see and how she can help us in the circle this year. Alana Benitez is a kid from Coastal Bend that is coming in. That's a great two-way player as well, and very versatile infielder, outfielder. We also have a kid named Alyssa Flores who transferred in. She's a local product and very powerful hitter. Gives us great leadership behind the plate as well. So we've been very excited about watching her kind of gel with the rest of the players this fall. And then we have 2 kids that transferred in from A&M Corpus Christi. And so Maddie Garza and Mackenzie Purcell are those 2 kids. And so kind of a tale of 2 falls for both of those guys. Mackenzie actually broke a bone in her hand early in the fall and missed all of fall ball. So these weeks we have leading up until our season are very important for all of us, but especially kids who miss time in the fall. So she's grinding right now trying to get those reps back. But Maddie Garza was very impressive. She was, she kind of broke into the starting lineup in a lot of our games on a championship team. And so great athlete. I mean, one of the best athletes in our program, and we've got some good ones here. So she actually had a game-winning home run for us in the fall against a really good opponent. So super excited to see what these kids can help us bring and add. And we've been very pleased with how they've kind of, added to the culture we have here. Yeah. So the first weekend is, it's tough for teams to kind of get started that early. So we just have 2 teams coming. It's one of our conference opponents, and we'll get a chance to see them, Houston Victoria, so we appreciate those guys coming over again. It's always good to see Coach and see her team early. And then we have Central Arkansas. They've been in the national news in softball the last several years, and so they're a consistent national team. They'll come in and actually play 5 games in 2 days. They'll play twice against Houston Victoria and then 3 games against OLLU. So it'll be a busy 2 days for them, but it'll give us a good chance to kind of get on our home field right away. Hopefully we'll have some good weather the first weekend in February. That's been a little dicey the last couple of years, but we're hopeful that we'll have just normal weather for February for us here in Central Texas and have a chance to get off to a good start in February. Yeah. So February 10th is again we're renewing kind of a rivalry with Midland University. And then we're also welcoming in Texas A&M San Antonio again. They were participants last year. The new team for that weekend is Bethany, and Bethany really shocked the NAIA world 2 years ago and made it all the way to the World Series. And so it's just really, really good to play teams, that are good that we don't normally get to see. So we'll play 5 games against Bethany and Midland, and Midland's going to come in as a ranked team. They're in the top 20 or top 25, I believe, at number 22. So we started our season last year with a really good performance, and part of those were great games with Midland. It really woke up kind of the softball world that the fact that OLLU had a really good team. So like I said, we kind of snuck up on people last year, but I know Midland's going to be really, really motivated, as everybody is when they come into our place. But it should be a great, great, great weekend. We're looking forward to it. Yeah, so I'm interested. At the time of this taping, we really don't know who the the preseason picks are. I know that many schools will be picking us as the favorite, which I think everybody is absolutely going to be a threat to that. I mean, you've got to be consistent. That was one of our big, positives from last year. I thought we were a very consistent team, whether we were home or away. We didn't look past opponents. That's my job, to make sure that we're ready to play. But I think in our division, Houston, Victoria, A&M San Antonio really had a great year last year and beat a lot of really good people. They beat us last year and just about split with us. We had to come back in the last inning or force extra innings to eke out a win. So Nicole's doing a great job, over there at A&M San Antonio. So I expect them to be really good again. In Houston Tillotson in our division, again, they returned some really good players, one of the best catchers in the league. And then if you look on the other side, obviously, you got to start with, the school that won our league. I mean, they won our conference tournament. And so Texarkana is extremely well coached. We really, respect what they do over there in Coach Stone. And they've got great pitching and great athletes, and they will definitely be a tough test, in our league. And then, right behind them, you've got, schools in Louisiana that are really good. Xavier is good, Louisiana Christian, LSUA. All these schools are tough. And then we got a couple Texas schools. Jarvis is tough. We're going to have to play them up at their place. Texas College is going to be much improved. So, and then, one team I forgot to mention from our own pool is the fact that Southwest, we had one of those games in our big winning streak last year was a comeback win against Southwest right here at home. So just expect motivated opponents, in every game. And so that's going to be our challenge, to be ready to go. Yeah, so, we return a lot of familiar faces to our staff. Jody Armijo will be back with us, and Katricia Arocha as well. They both did a great job, and they provide a lot of stability. Coach Jody's been with me since day one, really, when we started this thing back in 2019. And then, in addition to our coaching staff, we've elevated a couple people. So I really wanted to mention Gilbert Alvarado. He's actually a student assistant, but he's going to be graduating soon, and we've given him more and more responsibility as a student assistant. He's done a great job, and really interacts well with the players and helps us in every aspect. And so he's going to be elevated to assume a little bit bigger role. And then probably the best part of the newest face that we have, who's done just a tremendous job, is a guy named Jim Bray. Now, Jim has a long background of a lot of different college experiences, but he's a really good coach, but more importantly, he's an exceptional strength and conditioning coach. And I don't want to underestimate what he's done to our program since he's gotten here a few months ago. So our players, I think, were in good shape last year. I think they were strong last year, and I think what he's done since he's gotten here is absolutely top shelf. I mean, it's a comprehensive program. Our kids love it. They see results. And I'm really excited to see what that's going to mean for us when we hit the field. But, we've got a great staff, and we really appreciate all the sacrifices that they make to help our program. Well, this has been kind of a boring off season because we've gotten so much stuff done. There really isn't a ton more to do. We have finished off our press box, and so it's again going to be very comfortable in there. It's climate controlled now, where it was kind of a hot box last year when we had a very warm May. But that's a climate controlled area, and so we're excited about that. Really the only addition that we're going to have besides just kind of some improved seating, and we've got shade now over our bleacher area, which I think is going to be great for the fans. And then we've got a new padded wall that surrounds our backstop. And so that'll be the biggest change, I think. It's really going to be a chance for it. Gives a little bit more security to our players as they approach our netting for a foul ball or any type of ball that might be in play. But I think fans will immediately appreciate the shade as we've got some shade sails now that kind of soar over top our bleachers around on both sides of our press box. So those are going to be the major things that we've got going down at the ballpark. Well, the academic part of our program really starts with the families and the players that we recruit. It's not by accident that we recruit good academic students. It's always been our philosophy to find those kids first, and so our job is to graduate players. It just is. It'd be great if we win. It was a lot of fun winning a championship last year, but more importantly now is we get to go watch these kids graduate. We just had 2 players graduate in the winter graduation, Angela Ramirez and Madison Nunn. We had a player that finished her playing career last year, Caitlin Esparza, who graduated in the December graduation, and we are going to look forward to seeing about 5 more of these student athletes graduate in May. So that's our job at the end of the day. This is all kind of all well and good, but watching these kids graduate, get their degree is really one of the most exciting parts of my job. We've been young these last couple of years. We haven't had a lot of graduates, but this year we have a lot, and we're anxious to see them cross the stage because that's really why they're here. Yeah, I really want people in our area to kind of get on board with this group of players. We play a really good competitive brand of softball. We believe we're one of the best teams in San Antonio. We really do. And the kids work so hard at what we're doing, and they take pride in playing for San Antonio and playing for the West Side. And so I really hope that fans can appreciate that and appreciate the sacrifices that these players make on the day in and day out. And really, we're striving to help our community and make our community proud as we kind of go out on the road. So we certainly would love your support. We'll earn it. We'll work hard, and hopefully if things break our way, we'll try to compete for another championship and bring another ring back to the West Side.